Hey guys, Kimmy Vapes here, back at you with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Breath RDA by Advken and VapersMD. Let's have a vape, go down below, and see what comes with the Breath RDA. Okay, and here it is, the Breath RDA by Advken and VapersMD. This product was sent to me by Advken for the purpose of this review. Let's go ahead and open up the box and see what comes with the Breath RDA. Inside the box, you're going to find a Advken branded cleaning cloth, the Dr. Coils accessory bag, and a little card showing Advken's social media accounts and offering for you to share your pictures of your product and include the hashtag Advken. And then inside the box, you're also going to have the Breath RDA, an additional top cap with a chuff top to it, an Ultim 810 drip tip. Inside the Dr. Coils accessory bag, you're going to find a flathead driver, an Allen key driver, spare O-rings, 3 types of screws. You'll have Allen grub screws, flathead screws, or Phillips head screws. A 510 squonk pin. However, this is the 510 studded pin because I do currently have the RDA in squonk mode, and spare O-rings, and then you get 2 coils and some organic cotton. Okay, so here is the actual RDA and the spare cap. As you can see, the barrels themselves are almost identical, the difference being the drip tips on top. This spare cap is a chuff cap, so all of your custom fit 24mm chuff caps will fit on this barrel. The airflow is dual slotted airflow. They're calling this bottom airflow. I would call it bottom side airflow perhaps. So as you can see, the airflow is located very low to the bottom of the barrel, but it is that single Cylon style airflow. And as I said, these barrels are pretty much identical outside of this one being an 810 and this one being a chuff top. Both of them are made of aluminum, and of course the color I have here is purple. The purple is slightly different in person. I would say on camera it's showing up just a little bit darker, but I do like the color of this purple. I do feel it is more on like the lilac side, and it doesn't have a whole lot of pink undertones to it. So dual airflow, let's go ahead and take the top cap off so you can see the build deck. So taking the top cap off here, you can see both top caps are domed on the inside. The chuff cap on this one is also domed. We can go ahead and pop that out here. So you can see the chuff cap. Now that is an all Delrin chuff cap there. Very wide open bore. And then let's go ahead and pull out the 810 drip tip here. And this is another wide open bore 810 drip tip. So here you can see the dimensions on the center barrel are identical with the exception of that little step up here for the 810 top cap. Let's go ahead and look at the deck here. Now I do have coils already installed. These are actually coils that I installed a while ago in my live unboxing video for this RDA. So 24mm RDA, 2 posts designed. One thing that I do like about these 2 posts is that one side is open-ended, so it makes it a little easier for you to slide your coils in. Though not necessary, I do find it helpful for putting your coils in with ease. The airflow is actually milled into the deck. So you have this raised area of the deck which has a Cylon style notch cut into it. And that is actually going to be your airflow. So when we place the barrel on top, you'll line up the airflow hole there with the airflow hole that is on the deck, slide that down, and when you turn your top cap, you can close off your airflow. Now it is dual airflow only, so whatever you do to one side, it will do to the other side. Additionally, this airflow does not close off all of the way. As you start closing it off, you'll notice that the other side starts to open. So you can only get about halfway before your airflow starts to open on the other side. And then you've got 2 holes there, and that's just going to make for a very turbulent vape. And if you keep turning, it's open, but as you can see, your airflow is no longer aligned with your coils. So not a whole lot of airflow adjustability, but you do have pretty much the option of 100% airflow or cutting it down to about 50% airflow. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this build out real quick. This build has been performing fantastic. These are actually Vapers Anonymous coils. These are N90 Aliens. They're ohming out at about a 0.10. And they have just been performing really, really well. I've changed my cotton several times in this, and the coils just clean up so nicely. So here are the post holes down here at the bottom. As I told you earlier, this is in squonk mode. So down here at the bottom, you can see that the positive post actually extends out. And the reason being for that is the hole for the squonk pin is located underneath this. And it actually has holes on either side of the post where e-liquid comes out into the juice well. So you get e-liquid coming out here, as well as e-liquid coming out here. So both sides of your juice well will get fed with e-liquid whenever you squonk. Let's go ahead and reinstall our build. So with 2 post RDAs that each have a single hole like this, your leads are going to be sharing a hole. And usually what I do is I always stack my leads on top of each other. It's really hard, especially if you've got bigger builds like Aliens or Tricore or bigger than that. You're going to find that you can't lay your leads side by side. So you absolutely have to stack your leads on top of each other. And this is going to be interesting to see if I can get this build back in, since it's already been used and the leads are a little crinkly. So just giving it a little wiggle there to get my leads in. And here I've got leads on both sides. Now I do have my lead popping out. So holding both coils, making sure my leads are both laying on top of each other. I've got this one that's poking out the side a little bit, so we're going to push that in. There we go. Pull that one out. And let's see when we tighten them down how they do. Okay, so I went ahead and reinstalled my build. So I'll go ahead and show you where I've got those coils positioned. I find for me the best flavor that I get is when my coil is set low. So what I want is for that airflow to be hitting about center of my coil. It can be difficult to get your coil really low if you're using a tool, because the deck obviously is going to stop it. But I just take my finger and lightly push on the top of the coil to make sure I get it where I want it. So for me, performance-wise, I find the best performance is keeping my coils out very close to that airflow slot and keeping my coils set really low in the deck so as that the airflow is hitting the side of the coil. And you can see here that the top of the coil does come above that airflow, but for the most part, the airflow is hitting the bottom underneath and the side of the coil. Right, so now that I have my coils in place and positioned where I want them, let's go ahead, screw it on top of a mod and make sure it's firing correctly. And there it is, Vapers Anonymous coils firing right back up, glowing nice and even from the very start. Awesome, super happy. Let's wick it up. So the juice well on this RDA is 5 millimeters deep. However, because you do sit your coils so low in the deck, or at least that's how I sit my coils, because I find that's the best flavor for me. Because my coils are sitting so low in the deck, it doesn't give me a whole lot of room for cotton. I'm just using Japanese organic cotton sheets here. Go ahead and twist one end. I like my cotton to be nice and tight. Pull it through. Nice and tight. So for this, because I don't have a lot of space in the juice well for cotton, I like to keep my cotton pretty short. I just cut it so that the bottom of the cotton just touches the bottom of the juice well. Because again, we don't have a lot of room for cotton because of how low those coils sit, and also because we're unable to tuck our cotton under our coil due to the airflow being right there cut into the deck. So sit my cotton down there on the bottom of the deck. The e-liquid that I have been vaping and am going to fill this up with today is Taste of New Orleans Beignet, which is by a company called Camelot e-liquid. Really good beignet flavored e-liquid. So just go ahead and put some e-liquid on top of the coils. Then put a little down there in the center and give it a pulse. So because this dripper is low bottom side airflow, you can easily over drip on this RDA, I found. In dripping mode, I find that I make it leak more than when in squonking mode, for the simple fact that sometimes I will drip, forget that I dripped, drip again, and then I have all of that e-liquid sitting down in the juice well, and when I go to tilt it to vape on it, I end up leaking. With squonking, any excess e-liquid in the juice well gets sucked back down in the bottle, so I have way less leaking that way. And that's why I switched from dripping to squonking. I just found, for me, squonking, I liked it much better. Let's go ahead and put our regular 810 cap back on. Line up the airflow. Put our 810 drip tip on. And there we go. That is the Breath RDA by Advken and VapersMD. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. All right, and that was the up and close look of the Breath RDA by Alex from VapersMD and Advken. So if you guys don't already know Alex from VapersMD, he is on YouTube. He is another YouTube reviewer. He's actually Russian, so his reviews are in Russian, but he does include English subtitles on all of his videos, which is great because it allows us to go and watch his videos and hear his thoughts and opinions, whether you are Russian speaking or English speaking. So go ahead, I'll put a link right here, and go check out Alex from VapersMD. He is the designer of the Breath or Breathe RDA. It could be pronounced either way. I think he pronounces it as the Breathe RDA. I've been pronouncing it as the Breath RDA. So let's get into the pros of the Breath RDA. So first pro is going to be obviously the machining quality and the number of accessories that come with this RDA. I've had no problems with the tension on the O-rings. The O-rings are nice and snug. They adjust really well. They get a little loose once you've got e-liquid on them, but they still hold tight so that you can pick up your device you can pick up your RDA by the top cap and it's not going to fall off on you. So O-ring tension, great. All of the threads are really well. Both the 510 pin and the bottom feeding pin had no issues threading in or removing them. The screws on the two posts, again, no issues at all. So everything done nice and clean. I really like the color of the purple that they have on this one. It comes in a total of 6 colors. You have options for a stainless steel and Ultim top cap, or you also have purple, red, and I think blue is the other color. I'm not positive on that, but it does come in an 6 color options, mine of course being the purple. Then you have your dual-sided Cylon style airflow, which is pretty smooth. It's not the smoothest airflow that I've ever had, but it's smooth. Now the flavor on this is a huge pro. I get really good flavor from this RDA when I position my coils so as that the bottom half of my coil is right in front of that airflow. I found if my coils are any higher, the flavor starts to taper off a bit. It's like the airflow just goes under the coil and straight up through the center and kind of misses the coil, so I don't get as good a flavor. But having it so my coils are set really low in the deck, I get phenomenal flavor. I've really been enjoying this RDA and the flavor that I've been getting off of it. Now let's go into the next pro, is going to be the added additional top cap, so that you have a choice between a regular 810 style top cap or a chuff style top cap. Now, I'm not one that's really big on chuff style top caps, but I do like that they included that option. Obviously, the chuff style top cap is very wide bore, and it gives you the option to pretty much go as wide of a bore as a 24 millimeter RDA will let you. So that's something that I think maybe the cloud chasers may be really interested in, and I thought it was neat that they included that. And of course the other accessories, the spare coils, the spare cotton, extra O-rings, all of those things, and 3 choices of screws. So you get your flathead choice, you get your Phillips screw choice, and you get your hex head choice. Pretty much anybody that gets this RDA is going to have a screw of their choice, which is really great. Including all 3 screws means that everybody is going to get the type of screws that they want. Now let's go into cons. I don't have a lot of cons for this RDA. I actually, when I first got it, I thought I wasn't going to like this RDA. I'm typically not a big fan of Cylon style bottom side airflow. And the reason being is I over drip a lot. And I don't like RDAs where if I'm tilting it, it's going to leak. I'm the type of person that I do throw my mods with the RDAs in my purse. And if it's bottom side airflow, I find that I end up with e-liquid all over on the inside of my purse. And I guess if you're somebody that likes to put your mod in your pocket and sit down, you're going to find the same thing here for 2 reasons. 1, it's bottom side airflow. And 2, you do not have the option to completely shut off the airflow. So as you're spinning that top cap, once it gets down a little less than halfway, it's going to start to open on the other side. And that may be a problem for somebody if they stick their mod in their pocket and sit down. You may find that e-liquid leaks out onto your pants or in your purse, which happened to me. It's not terrible though if you learn. It took me a few days to get to a point where I wasn't over dripping on this, and there's 2 ways you can do it. You can pop the top cap off since it's a one-piece top cap and paint your coils, which is what I did at first until I got used to how much e-liquid this can hold without leaking. Once I got used to it and got a better idea of how much e-liquid I can drip in there before it starts to leak, I was confident just dripping down the center. But it is one that you're going to find yourself dripping on more frequently because of that low side airflow. It leaks easily when you're dripping. Now, in squonking mode, it doesn't leak as easily because the squonk pin is flush with the deck. So any extra e-liquid that accumulates in that deck gets sucked back down in the bottle. So I actually really like this RDA for squonking in because of the fact that I don't have to worry about as much leaking, because if I squonk, which I'll do now, if I over squonk, as you can see, e-liquid is running out. So it is bottom side airflow. You can over squonk, you can over drip, and you can make this leak. Once I got used to how much of a press to actually saturate my cotton without over squonking or over dripping, I didn't have as many of issues. But it is going to be one of those RDAs that you can make leak pretty easily. So think of it kind of as a learning curve, learning how much e-liquid you can actually put into those wicks, into that deck before it starts to leak. Me, now that I've gotten used to it, I don't usually have a lot of leaking from it, just because I know how this RDA functions and I know how much e-liquid I can pump into it before I'm going to start to leak. The next con I have for it is what I see as a huge missed opportunity. The fact that they have this airflow notched into the deck the way that they did, the way that they did that bump up metal cutout for the airflow, they could have easily put a track inside the top cap, which would allow you to create a stopping point. So the barrel free spins, and anybody that has an RDA with a free spinning barrel knows that sometimes your RDA gets locked up on your mod, and when you try to take it off, it just turns and turns and turns, which happens to me a lot with this RDA. It is very, very annoying for me when I try to remove my RDA off of my mod and I really have to like grip it really tightly and try to quickly jerk it back to get it to unlock from the RDA. Otherwise, my top cap just starts spinning. So huge missed opportunity for them. They could have easily just milled in a track on that top cap that lined up with that notch on the airflow and created a stopper that would allow you to unscrew the RDA with ease. And those are the only cons that I have for the Breath RDA. Otherwise, really great flavor RDA. If you're somebody that likes to post straight in style RDA decks, this is definitely one you might want to check out. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the flavor on it. I just wish there were a few minor changes to it to make it all that much better. That's my thoughts on the Breath RDA. Thanks again for watching, you guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell icon. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.